Hey guys, Blanket Ninja here with another random video. People ask me all the time about what AD carry they should play in order to carry games, and I personally think Ezreal is a fantastic choice to do this with, and I'm going to show you why I think that is through this game. Now, I'm not like the greatest Ezreal player, I just really like playing him, but I've become pretty decent at him, and the purpose of this video is to take you guys through one of my games where I played really well. I farmed up really well, I carried my team through just smart decision making and super aggressive plays. So I was generally like the playmaker from our team for most of these. Most of the kills and everything. And I'm going to take you guys through my decision making process during each fight. So you guys get insight into why I'm doing what I'm doing. And hopefully you guys can pick up a couple useful things or, incorporate parts of my play style into yours that you think maybe it would work well with your play style or whatever. So we're just going to go straight into the replay here. The game actually starts off kind of weird because Kennen just kind of like lightning rushes into us here. We exchange a couple summoners, he gets out with like one hit. So I blew both my flash and my ignite for that. Kennen blew his flash, and Lux blew her heal. So we traded 2 for 2, which is like fine. So we're gonna go leash. Then we're just gonna go in the lane here. And you notice Lux is actually in this push, and I actually did not notice this. So she just kind of straight up binds me, and they both just go onto me like right away. And the problem is Ezreal is very squishy, especially at level 1, so I immediately have to like back off here. So I get a couple auto attacks off and I back off. I do know Kennen's flash is down. I do know he only has lightning rush. So he's probably not going to flash in and like kill me. So I feel pretty safe coming back into the fight here. And Lux definitely isn't not gonna go in and flash and kill me because Lux is just way too squishy level 1. The second she flashes in, she's just gonna die in like 2 seconds. So I feel safe coming back into here. Fresh starts hitting her. Gets a good flay off. And I actually missed my Q here, which is really bad. If I hit this Q, this would have probably been like a really clean double kill. But I just barely miss it. Which is perfectly fine. So, Fresh decides to go all in here, and I really cannot help him since he's in this entire creep wave. Both these guys are hitting on him, or hitting him, I guess, and I have nothing up. I don't have Ignite, I don't have Flash, I don't have Arcane Shift. So, I'm going to try to do what I can to help him, but there's really not much I can do at this point. I see Kennen all in him. The second you see someone ignite, you know they're trying to go for the kill. Like, they're gonna go for it. So I know this Kennen's gonna go straight for my Fresh. So, even though I would lose in a 1v1 with Kennen, if he decided to fight me, I decide to just start hitting him anyways, because I know he's gonna go for Fresh. So, he starts going for Fresh. No, I just start hitting him. Because if he kills Fresh and then decides to fight me, he's gonna lose that. So he kills Fresh, I start hitting him, and he barely manages to get away here. So that auto attack was actually meant for Kennen. Lux actually takes it because she was right on top of him, and I misclicked. So what happens here is Kennen can actually trade back with me because I hit Lux instead of Kennen. And now we are both one hit from death. If I wanted to, I could have chased and tried to go for the kill. But I would just much rather stay alive and just farm up as much as possible. Getting kills is nice, but losing entire waves of CS just to get the kill, generally not always worth it. I always like to stay on the safe side. So I just let them back off. And I just stay here. And I just farm up with my lifesteal. Because I know Kennen has a longsword, so he's not gonna have much. He's not gonna have much lifesteal. He does have a couple HP pots, but if I manage to stay in lane long enough with this Doran's Blade and my Vamp Quints, I can just sustain the damage up. So it was really close, but in the end we were down a kill. Fresh died, and we didn't really get anything out of it. So I'm just gonna try to farm up here. You see what happens here is Fresh actually comes back into lane, and Cannon's just completely out of position. At this point, I'm level 3, Cannon's level 2, so in a straight up fight, I would probably win anyways. But now that Fresh is here, I absolutely know 100% that I'm going to win, so I just go straight in on him. So I make sure to shift behind him, so even if he decides to lightning rush, he would have to go through me in order to get anywhere, or he would just run into Fresh. So it's a pretty simple kill. Cannon was just out of position, and then we just jumped on him for it. So yeah, everyone comes in here, and we just get like destroyed, because like we can't ward for this because we have no pink wards. So she kind of just like sits in the bush here, and I just like die. I think Fresh actually dies here too. Yeah. Evelyn is like really difficult to deal with if you don't have pink wards, because you have to be expecting her at all times, and she can flank even through your wards, which is really difficult to deal with, especially as bot lane. So we're gonna come back here. So Fresh puts a ward down. So we're just gonna see what happens here. Just trading back and forth. I hit Lux a couple times. Alright, let's see what happens here. Okay, so let's quickly go through what exactly happened there. Okay. So I hit Lux a couple times. She's very, very low right now. If I EQ onto her and maybe ignite her, she's just gonna straight up die. So I know at this point, you know, we're pretty strong, because if we can manage to get an engage off, we'll probably win, because we're both pretty much full health, and Fresh is just much, much tankier than Lux is. So we're gonna watch exactly what happens here. So Lux froze her E, and she completely, like, I think she was going for Fresh or something, but the point is she doesn't hit me. And I use this, since I know Lux's E is down, she obviously cannot throw an E at me. So if she can't throw an E at me, her potential damage output is going to be pretty much like 0 when I'm trading with this cannon. Like, the only thing she can hit me with is the light binding. And I'm expecting this. I know Lux already used her E, so that's not going to be a factor anymore. But I do know her light binding is going to be a factor, and if she decides to use it, I'm just going to arcane shift over it. So since Lux used her E right there, I know I can trade 1-1 with Kennen, because just in terms of 1-1 trading bot lane, Ezreal does beat out Kennen if you manage to get a couple shots on without being stunned. So as long as you don't get stunned, then you should be able to outtrade Kennen. So since I knew Lux's E was down, I had the potential to outtrade Kennen. So I started trying to go for him here. And I think I actually do get stunned, but I grab onto the Fresh Lamp, and I actually E into the Lux binding. I meant to E right below it, but as you can see, I'm not like the greatest Ezreal. But Lux binds, and I just E right into it. And we'll see what happens here. Okay, so I take advantage of the fact that Lux is extremely, extremely squishy, and just instantly drop her right away. You know, Kennen does do more damage than her, and Kennen, you know, is more problematic with his stuns and everything. But auto attacks do a huge amount of damage in bot lane fights. So the quicker you can take one person out, the easier it'll become so much easier to just win, because supports do a lot of damage through their auto attacks. And this is something a lot of people don't really, I guess, notice, or they kind of take for granted, is that their supports actually do a ton of damage through auto attacks. So this is why you want to burst one person down and then deal with the other one, because you'll take more damage if you keep them both alive and just spread your damage between them. You do not want to spread your damage, because if you spread your damage, they're probably just going to focus one of you. You know, one of your AD carry or support is gonna die, and then both of them are just gonna converge onto you, and you're just gonna die as well. The easiest way to give up a double kill bot lane in a 2v2 fight is to spread your damage and not focus anyone. And the easiest way to get a double kill is to just focus one person down and then deal with the other one. So I decided to just go for Lux because she was just instantly like in killable range the second I decided to engage here. So I got her low for a couple poking. Yeah. Ignite her. I Q her, I auto attack her, and I finish it up with another auto attack. Now, if Lux stayed alive, I'm super low right now. I would have died if they just kept auto attacking me. So, I got Lux down. Now, I run into this bush to hopefully drop vision, and it works, because he has to follow me into this bush. This is really big. In bot lane fights, oops, let me go here. In bot lane fights, you want to use your bush vision. Now we can see we're actually really lucky here because this ward just expired right as this fight started, so they lost vision of this bush. So we kill Lux, and I know I'm really low. If I just stand here and auto attack him, I'm gonna die to him. But I know if I manage to get into this bush and drop vision on him, see, like right now he can't see me. Let's see if I can. Right now he can't see me, and he has to follow me into this bush if he wants to like go for me. And see, going for fresh right now is not an option because he's just too high health, and I'm just gonna kill him. Kennen has no flash up, he has no escape, so he has no other choice but to go for me. So I take advantage of this fact. I go in the bush, I draw him into the bush, and we can see my Q cooldown is just about up. And the second he walks into this bush, it gives me enough time to get my Q cooldown back up. I Q him. I do get stunned, but I do manage to just like kill him after the stun wears off. So that's a very small thing. We'll see I lived with like 72 HP. If Kennen hit one more auto attack on me, I would have just died. And I would have died 100% if I just stood there and fought him instead of just going into the bush. So bush juking is like huge. Like the extra 1 or 2 seconds, you can buy through bush juking, will win you fights bot lane, because fights bot lane come very close on both sides. They're often decided by one auto attack or one miss skill or whatever. So we played that well. I'm just gonna push into the tower and then go back here. Actually, let's see. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep skipping ahead to like the fights and stuff. Okay, so right here, it's fairly obvious, but Lux is just simply out of position, so we're just gonna chase her down. And right here, I know the only way she can stop me is to bind me. So I'm expecting this light binding to come out, and since I'm Ezreal and I have an instant flash, the second I see her turn around and Q, I'm just gonna arcane shift over it and then go for her. So she does that, I arcane shift over. I get some auto attacks off, I get a Q off. Fresh just barely misses this hook, but we do force a flash out of her. So that's just a small thing. Try to read the enemy and guess what they're doing. Right here, we knew Kennen wasn't in lane yet. We had vision of this entire thing. We knew Kennen was not here. So if we just both went for her, she would have no choice but to run away. So I saw this as a good chance to get some good damage off. I auto attack. Expect the light binding to come, and then when she turns around and does it, you just light shift over it, keep auto attacking, use your Q, force the flash. And we didn't have to do anything for that. We used like 2 skills and we forced the flash out, and now Lux probably has to go back. So that's just very small thing, but we got a really big reward out of it just for playing smart enough. So we're gonna skip forward here. Okay, so here we know there's like a fight going on up here. Eve's low, Brand generally, well, Brand doesn't have much mana. Karthus is all the way back here. Does Karthus have the ult? Yeah, Karthus does have his ult up. And we get light binded down here. And I know they're not going to fight us, because right now we're a lot stronger than they are right now. Fresh Ezreal, we both are just naturally stronger laners, or just a stronger lane than these two. And we're also up a level, and Lux is also half health. You know, if she gets hooked, she's just going to instantly die, and then Kennen will have to just run away. So, I know I can just zone them off here. So, I get the Q, they decide to just disengage, and we're going to go up here and help. So, everyone gets away, Bran gets away. I do spot out this Lux over the ward here, and I know that if I just jump on her, she's just gonna die. This is something, like, knowing how much damage you do, or knowing how much damage it takes in order to kill the other person, is just something that kind of comes from practice. But I know 100% if I jump over and just all in this Lux, she's just gonna instantly die. So she's gonna be up here. Kennen's going to be in lane, so I know if I jump over here, I'm not going to be like randomly double teamed and just die. So there's really no reason not to go for this. So I see her going here, I jump over the wall. No. I land easy Q right in her face. And I'm expecting the bind. Even if she binded me, I make sure to walk with her so I can stay as close to her as possible. So I think she actually misses the bind, and then he picks up the kill here. And you see Kennen's actually in lane here, there's free here, we know Evelyn's low, so no one but Kennen is gonna be here. So instead of walking through river all the way through river here, actually decide to go over and under this rock. And try to catch Kennen off, see how much damage I can do to him. So I get some auto attacks off. I know I can't Q him because there's a bunch of creeps, so what I'm just gonna do, let me see if I can. Look, I know I can't Q him because he's behind a bunch of creeps, so I just auto attack him and I just follow him. I just walk through the creeps until I get a good chance for a Q, and then I Q him. Now, a lot of Ezreals I see, they try to Q anyways, even though it obviously won't hit. Don't bother doing that. Just auto attack him, walk closer, auto attack, walk closer, auto attack until you can hit the Q. So Fresh goes for a hook, he misses. But that's perfectly fine, since we did like a ton of damage on this guy. We did a lot of damage for completely free, pretty much. So I'm gonna push into his tower, see if I can poke him down a bit and make him miss some more CS. And I'm just gonna push it into his tower. So we're gonna see what happens here. So I go in, I auto attack, and I think I just ult him here. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna see exactly what happened here. Okay. So we see Kennen here. Okay, I know that if I shift in, the only way Kennen's going to be able to get out is if he lightning rushes away. But even if he decides to do that, he's already going to take a ton of damage from me. And, I know Lux is still at base. I know Eve is still at base. And I know that even if Bran comes, he's not going to be able to do much, because we already have this warded, so we should see him coming long before he actually comes. So I just shift in, because I know Kennen has no response if I actually just shift in here. Kennen cannot do anything, because if he tries to fight me back, Fresh will just hook him. So he has no other choice to run, so he was just simply out of position here. And we're just going to go back here. And he was just out of position here because I could just jump in, do some free damage, and he can't do anything about it. He should have been expecting me to just shift in and do damage to him, if he was standing up that far. But it turns out he wasn't. I get up with a couple auto attacks, and then I run behind some bushes, and just... Actually, I wonder if you can see him. Yeah, exactly. So there's a reason I walked behind the bushes before I did that. If you see an Ezreal coming, it's very, very easy to dodge it. But if you don't see it coming, obviously it's much, much, much harder to dodge. So we're gonna play this through his perspective. Now, I'm gonna jump in here. Auto attack. Get a Q off. One more auto attack. And then I'm gonna walk behind these bushes. So he has no vision of me anymore. Now, I think what's going through this Kennen's head is that I'm just going to walk around and then try to kill him through the bushes here with like a Q or something. Instead, I just ult through the wall. But since he has no vision of it, he has no time to react to it. You know, if he had vision of that, he obviously could have just, you know, lightning rush and then just like went down or like went towards his tower instead of, you know, this way. But that small act of just dropping vision, so he has no vision. Like, vision is huge in this game. Keep this in mind, is that if you see skill shots coming, they're very, very easy to dodge. But if you throw them from bushes or in the fog of war, they're pretty much impossible to dodge. Like, you have to be really, really quick with your reaction times if you want to dodge it. So if you're trying to hit skill shots, always, always, always try to drop your vision before you do it, and it'll make it so much easier to hit stuff. This is especially true for Nidalee. You know, if you're in bushes, it's really easy to hit spears. It's really easy to hit spears if it's over walls. Easy to hit them through like over ledges and stuff. Like, if they can't see the spears coming, it's so much easier to hit them. So I quickly, like, I could have just like stood here and ulted, but I instead just decided to walk behind the trees here and then ult, because he has really no way of dodging that, unless he predicted I was going to try to do that ahead of time, which takes like a really, really smart player to be able to read that. So I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna turn on. So we're gonna go back. Let's see. I have a couple kills. I'm 4-1-1 right now. Just through making smart plays and stuff. And okay, I come back into lane. Again, I did not know Lux was in this bush, but she actually completely misses her binding. And this is actually good for me because she's level 5. I'm level 7, and I have Spirit and Double Dorns. So I'm just gonna Q her. And this is going to do like 1,000,000 damage to her. I'm just going to jump in. Auto attack, auto attack. And I know at this point Lux cannot do anything. She has to run. And if she has to run, then I'm going to be left 2v1ing this Kennen. So I just go in hard. I just go as hard as I can. Kennen decides to ult here. What I actually tried to do here is I tried to do the same thing. I tried to walk into the bush to drop the vision and then ult, but it looks like I'm just like one step outside the bush. But I believe I do pick this up anyways. Yeah, I picked this up. And Kennen actually decides to flash towards her tower to try to dodge the ult that was meant for Lux, which just works out in our favor because we just kill him. Alright, so the reason I flash here is because I know Kennen could just like instantly kill me if he like auto attacks me. And I know if he decides to chase me into this bush, I'm just gonna Q him in the face and just kill him. And I think he knows this too, so I believe he actually just runs away. Yeah, so I was expecting him to chase me here, so I just Q. And he just decides not to chase me because he knows he's gonna die. So he actually decides just to run away here. And I see Fresh actually wants to go for a hook. So I'm walking out of the bush in anticipation here because I know if Fresh manages to hook him, there's going to be like a good like 1-2 seconds where Kennen is CC'd and he can't do anything, and I should be able to kill him. So I wait to see if the hook lands. You know, the hook lands, and then I just go straight on him. Now, my Arcane Shift, as you can see, actually hits the minion here. This could have potentially been bad because Kennen might have just killed me. Ideally, after looking through this again, I would have Arcane Shifted slightly to the left, so the closest thing was Kennen. So that Arcane Shift would have hit. Because I was expecting to just instantly drop Kennen the second I went in here, but it actually takes us a couple auto attacks because my Arcane Shift missed. Yeah, see, he should have been dead right here, but my Arcane Shift actually hit a minion, so I should have shifted just a bit to the left. But it turns out it's perfectly fine. I think he tries the Lightning Rush instead of actually hitting me, because I think his Lightning Mark actually just hit Fresh. So I'm gonna take a quick look at this actually. Yeah, he tries to kill me, but his Lightning Marks and stuff hit Fresh. So, you know, that potentially could have gone bad if Kennen actually hit those marks on me, because he would have stunned me and just killed me. But through a bit of luck, we managed to pull out the kill there. So, let's see. That was just very simple trading. Right now I know that I'm stronger than this cannon, so I just start straight up trying to trade with him. And if he tries to trade with me back, I'm just gonna keep hitting him. And I think he knows he's weaker here too, because he's like half health right now. I'm like full health. That's just because if you look at my item build, you know, I have a lot of items. I have Spirit, I have Tear, I have double Dorans, and Kennen just has like most blade and like nothing else. So he's really far behind me right now. I do a lot of damage to him. And I know I'm ahead, especially. I'm 2 levels ahead of him as well. So I know I'm gonna outtrade and outduel him. So, you know, if he tries to go up to harass me, I'm just gonna harass him back. Okay. So what happens here? Let's go over here. So I know I got them both low. I know they're doing double golems. So what I try to do is I try to go and just tri-bush here. And as I walk back to lane, I'm just going to try to ambush them and hopefully get a kill off. But it looks like this was actually warded. And I key the dragon just so my ult cooldown comes off just a bit faster. But it's obvious they know I'm here. And that becomes very, very obvious when Lux actually binds this here. So I know that they know I'm here, and I believe I can still take them on 1v2, but I was not expecting the Evelyn that was coming here. So, no, I try to take them on 1v2. No, they Kennen ults, so I just shift into the bush, and then I plan to just ult and then pick up the kills. But it turns out Evelyn was like right here as well. So we get engaged on. No, he hooks Evelyn, which is good. I do hit my ult. No, I try to kill him as fast as I can. Kennen has to get out. No, I try to kill Lux. And I believe I managed to pick up Lux. Yeah, I managed to pick up Lux, but Evelyn just like kills me. I wanted to click on the lantern, but there's really nowhere to go. Does he pick him up here? Oh, he picks him up. Yeah, so right there, you know. Let's see what happened. So I knew they were doing double golems, I knew they were pretty low, and I knew I could 1v2 them. So I tried to make a play here, I tried to go in the bush and just ambush and kill them. But it doesn't quite work out, and that's perfectly fine, because that's going to happen a lot to you. You know, you're going to go in with a plan, it's going to be really good in your head, and then like a unexpected factor like Evelyn coming in here is just going to come in and screw everything up. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that you made the plan in the first place and you were actively thinking about, you know, how to make plays and then trying to do it. And you know, even though she comes in here, I do manage to trade 1 for 1 at the very least. And I believe, yeah, and Fresh actually picks up Eve here, so we actually got a 2 for 1 for that. So, you know, the original goal was, you know, pick up 1 or 2 kills here, and instead we managed to trade just 1 for 2. Or 2 for 1 or whatever. So it actually turns out in our favor. And that's just because at this point we're just a lot stronger than the enemy bot lane, so even in unfavorable positions, we would still come out ahead. Oops. What just happened there? So I see Kennen trying to go back here, so I'm just gonna try to ult. It's a pretty long shot of actually hitting the ult, but I figure I might as well try anyways. So he sees it coming, he just gets out. And that's perfectly fine, because I know he's super low, really does not have anything up, and I'm gonna kill him if he tries to stay here. So he tries to stay now, and I'm just gonna decide to push the lane into the tower and just poke him under tower, make him miss as much CS as possible. Yep. Get some good damage off. Fresh misses his hook, but we get a lot of good damage off. So we'll just watch what happened here again. Okay. So Lux decides to go and put a ward here. And I know if I just E in, and even if Lux uses her combo on me, I'm still gonna win, because now if they try to all in me, I'm just gonna get Fresh Lanterned, And Fresh obviously it's just gonna go in and hook someone, and we're just gonna kill them both. Because right now we're just a lot stronger than they are. Kennen's only half health, so he cannot use his ult for anything. So Lux puts her ward down here, which puts her slightly out of position, and I just shift onto her, do as much damage as I can. And it turns out to be like a lot of damage. So she loses like almost all her health here. No, I believe I missed a Q here. Yeah, and then Fresh misses his hook. We get some auto attacks off. I miss another Q. But that's perfectly fine, because, you know, we did a lot of damage to them. No, they're under a lot of pressure now. And I'm just gonna chase these guys. This is a little dumb, but I just like have a ton of fun chasing people. So if I think I can get a kill 100%, I'm just gonna go for it. Unless it's like a really dumb idea and it'll like lose us the game, but I enjoy the challenge of trying to chase people as far as I can. So I EQ in, I get the Q off, Lex uses her heal, I hit another Q, and I know at this point it doesn't matter who I go for, I'm gonna kill at least one of them. I try to go for both of them, and you know, I hit another Q, and then I try to shift. So I kill that guy, and then I believe I try to shift onto him and kill him as well. I believe he actually stunned me, so. So this is actually kinda dumb. If I wanted to be smart, I would've just stayed here. I would've just farmed the wave, and I would've just let the tower deny like all these creeps that are coming. But it's a low level game. It's a normal game. I honestly really don't care that much. So I'm just trying to go for kills here. So let's watch that again. Yeah, so he actually just straight up stuns me, and I don't get the kill because I'm stunned. So that's what happened there. So that was kind of dumb. That's whatever. So Evelyn actually goes for him again here. He gets out. Oh, I randomly kill him because, okay, it's like really easy to read people when they're going back. So let's actually let's put it on purple side here. So I actually just killed Kennen with my ult when he was going back, and okay, we'll watch here. Okay, you see Kennen going back here, and I am up right now. I do have my ult. And I notice Kennen back here, and I know he's low enough for me to kill him. So I watch him, and if he backs anywhere in vision, I'm obviously going to ult him because I have vision of him. But I just watch him, see where he goes, and he disappears out of range. And I know he's super low health, you know, he just farmed a wave, and I know he's going to back. I 100% know he's going to back. The only time he's not going to back is if he's going to do double golems because he's really close to an item. And I highly doubt he's going to do that. So let's see here. Okay. So he just walks out of range. I know he's going to back. And if you played enough League, you know that players love to back at their towers. And you know, because if they back near a tower, they're gonna feel really safe. Now, if I was anywhere near here, he's gonna back like all the way back here. He's gonna back like super far away. But he knows that I just died. He knows Fresh is gonna go back, and he knows the jungler's not anywhere near bot lane. So Kennen feels that he's not gonna need to like go all the way like back here in order to back. Just as long as he's in range of his turret in case something unexpected actually shows up, you know, and he can just lightning rush into the turret and be safe. So I know he's gonna back in this area, 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that he's gonna back there. So I just ult, and it turns out he's like right there. And it's just simple reading. If you play enough League, you'll notice people's tendencies, where they tend to back, and you can pick up some really, like, just random Ezreal ults, if you just read people like that. So I pick up a random kill, and I'm just gonna push into his tower here. I'm not sure if anything else exciting happens. We kill that, we go to do Dragon. Okay. Okay, so this guy's super low, Zac is super low, but I have a lot of items right now. I'm very strong, and I can kill these guys if I just stay alive. So I get a Q off, you can see how much the damage that does. So Karthus is going to go down here for sure. I know he does have ult, so he's going to ult. And Eve is really low, Brand is really low, and it seems like bot lane's not here at all. So even though Karthus dies and Zac is pretty low, we do have the upper hand in this fight here, because we just have a lot more people than they do. So, no. I ult, I tried to hit both of them, but Evelyn just like walked away. So I hit Brand, and I know if I just hit Brand, Q him, and then just jump in, he's gonna die. It was actually unnecessary for me to actually shift in here, because Karthus was gonna kill him. But I guess kill steals are the best kills, so... okay, so Kennen, I know he's gonna be zoned by this fresh here. I'm actually gonna turn on all vision again. And I know Lux is gonna be zoned for this fresh here. And I have 0 kill potential on either of these guys, because I just used everything. And I don't have any mana left, but this guy's super low, and I know he's gonna go for Zac. Like 100%, like if Zac's that low, I know he's gonna go for it. So everyone survives Karthus ult, goes for Zac. You know, I see it, and then I just flash in, because it's very simple. Because Evelyn has to be in melee range, so the second she turns around to hit Zac, I really cannot miss my Q, because she's gonna be like right there. So she tries to dodge it. Now, if she just kept walking left, I think she could have actually got away, but I just pick up a kill here. And I believe we just take tower here. Oh, let's go over to that. Okay, so... Whoa, what happened here? That's actually really cool. Alright, what did happen was I shifted onto Kennen here. Let's see if it like glitches out again here. I think it's just gonna like super glitch. Okay, well. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, all you need to know is that I went from here to like over here. And the reason I did that, let's go back here. And the reason I did that again is just because I know I'm a lot stronger. I'm a couple levels up. I know Lux can't do anything. I know Kennen can't do anything. And if they try to fight me, they're just gonna die. So I just shift in, do as much damage as I can. See if I can pick up a kill. I force a flash. You know, I get binded here. But that's fine. But you can see how being smart with your engages. No, just when you know you're stronger, you can just force flashes just by simply like being aggressive. You know, you don't have to do anything crazy. It's just I knew like the tower was still up when I went in there. The tower was still up when I went in. You know, because if they decided to stay and fight, that tower would have been hitting me, and I know I still would have won that anyway, so I just decided to go before the tower was even down. And the thing with people in towers is that even when it's like at like 10 HP, people still feel safe around towers for whatever reason, even when it's like this low. So Kennen walks up, you know, tries to poke me or whatever, and I just go straight on him. Because I know he has no way to answer that, so I just go straight on him, and I actually force a flash out of him. It's a very small thing you can use. People feel safe around towers. So people will just stand like right behind the tower even when it's about to die. So a lot of people get caught like right in this area and like right in this area because this tower goes down and then someone just flashes in and just kills them. Like this happens so much. This happens all the time. And also especially in this area, you know, people feel safe around this tower. You know, they're 5-man pushing it, and then once this tower goes down, everyone from like blue side just flashes on the purple side, and they just kill them as well. So people feel safe around towers even when they're this low. So you can abuse that little fact and just like poop on people. So I just jump in, do as much damage as I can, and I managed to force a flash for pretty much nothing. So that's really good for us. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut this video right here because it's already getting like super long. It's like 40 minutes and we just got out of the landing phase. So if you're interested, watch the next couple parts for the rest of the game. But for now I think it's been long enough just for landing phase. I also die here, so I'm just gonna cut it here. So if it was interesting, I'm gonna have the next part out soon.